Just checking that we're live and that we're good to go. So a very warm welcome to the next ICB chat session. And as you can see, it's going to be hosted by our very own Celma Brümmer this evening. Celma is our group marketing manager. And like with everything, there's always a team, a very successful team that's behind the scenes. And Celma leads that team. And you know, when you look at all the marketing strategies and you look at the Facebook posts and you look at the website and the website development and the search engine optimization, the SEO and the mailers that go out that you enjoy reading, and also the copywriting and the content and the graphic design, there's a lot of strategy and a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes. And you know, we want to as ICB, we want to give back to basically to our students, but also to the community. So we've got a series of chats. So we've had one that was hosted by our director, Belinda Colson, who was part of bookkeeping and how to start your own business. And the principles of that you can take to any business. Then I did one with regards to recruitment and how to find the dream job. And today is the 101 steps in terms of marketing and marketing strategies. And in the new year, we're going to host regular ones with various topics. And we really hope that you're going to join us. And please subscribe to our channel so that you can make sure that you do get all the latest and the greatest. So behind the scenes, thank you very much, Darren. So you're going to help us with some content behind the scenes. And Celma is our expert with regards to the strategy and how to formulate a budget. So I'm sure you're going to absolutely love listening to Celma, and I'm sure you're going to get a lot of good tips. And that's because whether you own a bookkeeping company or whether you own another brand of company, you still need to know how to get the marketing and the marketing strategies out there, because people need to know about your service. You can be amazing at what you do, but you need to actually be able to tell people. So Celma is going to teach us all of that this evening. So Celma, thank you very much for hosting today. And you're going to be absolutely great. Everyone's going to love the content, and I'm sure everyone will feel a lot more comfortable about branding their various businesses. Thank you, Celma. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Hello, everybody. I just want to change the view. I just have to warn you, I've got like a small mini NASA station here in front of me. I feel like very high-powered executive with 3 different screens, just so that I can keep a lookout. Usually I'm behind the screens doing all of this and working through it. But tonight I'm in front of the screen, so please bear with me. If my eyes dart, it's because I'm trying to keep track of everything. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I will try and answer all of the questions, but only after the presentation, because I would like to give my attention to the presentation. I will then go through the comments, but like Barbara said, we've got a team in the background. We've got Darren, he's my right-hand man in the marketing department, and then we've got Barbara, she's our jack of all trades and can actually answer everything. So they'll try and answer some of the questions, but whatever they can't, I will try and do that. Then, first of all, thank you for joining me and for joining Barbara as well as Darren. And thank you, Barbara, for the wonderful introduction. I hope you're all as excited about this presentation as I am. I've just spoken to Barbara and I've told her and Darren that the last time I've presented in a public forum is about 11, 12 years ago, before my child was born. And yes, she's now 10 years, going into tween. I will talk to you a little bit more about myself. And then just to set the scene, why are we here today? What will I look at? I will look at Marketing 101. And then this will definitely be applicable to anybody that would like to start their own business, but have not really started yet and not 100% sure of how to get the word out there. Or you already started your own bookkeeping business, but you want to grow it and you want people to be a little bit more aware of what you offer and the services that you offer. So yes, then this is the place. If you've answered yes to any of those questions, then this is the place for you. And like I've said, the house rules. Also, there's a public chat box, so you can drop your questions in there. I will see if I can get through all of them towards the end. Then also, this is not a business-specific consulting session, so I'm going to try and keep it very generic and have information and share knowledge and ideas with everybody so that you can take it into your own business, internalize it, adapt it, change it a little bit so that it works for you. So before we kick off, who am I? I call myself, I'm a self-proclaimed recovering perfectionist. Sorry about that. I always loved to have everything perfect. When I was studying at school and after school, I wanted everything to be perfect. But then when I joined the professional world and I realized perfection actually doesn't do it. It can actually hold you back. And a lot of, I don't know if you've seen, I've also listened to a lot of talks, a lot of businesses, they really want to be perfect. And then they keep on holding back before going to market. So I realized perfection isn't everything. So I tried to be a little bit of a less of a perfectionist. I also love new experiences. I get bored easily, so I like change. I also have been fortunate, really fortunate. When I started out, I started at an international company. And then when I decided to move down to a more relaxed area, I was able to again move to an international company where I was able to actually get on the floor, hands-on experience of marketing, specifically relationship marketing. And that has been able to give me a very nice overall perspective of marketing, from strategy down to the nitty-gritty of marketing. Then, of course, I'm a pragmatist and a realist. I think if you speak to Barbara and to any of the other team members, I always try and take it down to how are we actually going to do whatever we think of how we're going to do. There's somebody else in this company that's also like that. But for me, in terms of marketing, whenever somebody tells us we want to do this, I immediately think of how we're going to do that and how we can do it practically. Then just in terms of what I am going to take you through tonight, I have followed this process at two of the previous companies that I worked for. The one was the one of the international companies, and one was a smaller player, but they were situated in Botswana. And specifically, this smaller company in Botswana, the process and the tips that I'm going to share, we used that for that company, and we were able to grow that in a very short span of time. And a short span of time is not a couple of months, it's 1 to 2 years. We were able to grow that, which actually was quite nice to be able to see what you've learned and what you've done previously, to put that into practice and see the results. So that is about me, about ICB, about our company. We're part of the Graduated Education Group, ICB. We also have two other, I call them our sister companies, the ICBA and the ITH. A lot of you should know about the ICB. We keep on talking to you from the ICB. We send you newsletters. The ICBA, professional body for qualified financial professionals and business practitioners in Southern Africa. And then the ITH-SA, which is the Chartered Institute of Tourism and Hospitality, where we provide programs which range from tourism and hospitality to culinary programs and professional short courses. And then we've got a couple of other smaller businesses in the group, but these three businesses are our main focus. Now, moving on, what will we look at today? First of all, I'm going to lay the groundwork. What is marketing? And yes, it mostly irritates me when I walk around and people ask me what I do. I say, no, I'm in marketing. I do a marketing manager. And they say, oh no, I'm also a marketer. I'm like, marketer and marketing is not 100% the same. So we're going to look at what is marketing, just so that we've got all the basic understanding and you know where I come from. Then also I'm going to tell you about what to avoid, and then what we can actually do, getting practical. Like I said, I like to be practical, getting down to that. And then I also need to stress what you should avoid, what are the non-negotiables, and then also very important, if you want to go out and market yourself as a bookkeeper or as an accountant, you need to ensure that you have gained the necessary skills and experience that you are able to provide a bookkeeping or accounting service to your clients. There's no need, or there's no real value in somebody coming to you and they've offered and you've marketed yourself as an accountant or as a bookkeeper, but you actually can't do the work. It's like going to the dentist and wanting them to pull a teeth, but they've marketed themselves as a dentist, you've made the appointment, now you expect them to pull your teeth or your tooth, and they can't do that. So you need to make sure that you can actually deliver the service that you go out and you market yourself to be able to deliver. Then, like I said, we will look at some of the non-negotiables, what I think when you start off with marketing, or even when you have gone down the road of marketing, what are the non-negotiables, and then some helpful tools that I use on a daily basis. And really, these are tools that I use on a daily basis. Okay, so what is marketing? I heard this and I thought about it, gee, this doesn't really make sense, but then I thought about it. Marketing is not advertising, but advertising is marketing. And I hear a lot of you saying, like, what does this mean? Now, if you take a second and you think about this, it makes sense. Advertising is one part of marketing. It forms part of marketing, as well as PR, your public relations, research, social media, SEO. For those that don't know what SEO is, your search engine optimization. And the same can be said for social media. Everybody at the moment is on the bandwagon of social media, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google My Business, all of that. But social media is one element of marketing which a marketing person or a business can use to promote their business. So, and then I also said the ultimate aim of marketing is to communicate value to your customer. There is no need for you to go out to your client or potential customer and tell them, listen, make use of my services, or I've got this product to use, if they don't understand the value that product or that service will add to their life. So I also say that you need to communicate value, but you also must make sure that you bring all of the elements in terms of, say, for instance, your copywriting and your social media and what is on your website. You must also bring all of that together so that you've got one message that you can take out and take that through to the customer. So it's no use saying on your website that you're a qualified bookkeeper, for example, but then when somebody goes and do a little bit of research, say for instance on LinkedIn, it says something totally different, that you have not obtained your level 4 in bookkeeping. So the different elements that is available to marketing must have the same message, and they must talk to one another and with one another, and they must have the same message. So, on what I just want to stress again, the ultimate aim of marketing is to communicate value to your customer. No customer is going to make use of your service or your product if they don't think that you will add value to your life. I do not buy a product, or I don't make use of a service if I don't think it's going to add value to my life. A good example of this is, say for instance, I have got an online shop and I sell clothes. I love the creative part of it. I love designing clothes and love making it, but I hate doing the books. So if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant, the value that you will add to me is you will be doing my books. I can trust you to do my books. Now I've got spare time, free time for me to actually focus on that. What I love is to design the clothes and make the clothes, which means that I can actually go out and sell a little bit more. And this leads me to my next point, is if you want to succeed in your marketing, you need to study human behavior. Now, almost all people are driven, or they make their buying decisions based on value, comfort, and speed. And a very good example of this is Amazon. They saw a need in the market of people wanting a product that to be delivered to their home. They didn't want to get into the car and drive to a shop. So they wanted to be comfortable. That is where we go to comfort. And they also realized that they need to be able to offer good quality products that has got value to the customer, and the customer wanted it to be delivered as soon as possible. A lot of people and a lot of social media and what is going on in media tends to want us to be instantly gratified. So speed has become a very important element of that. So if I send an email or an order, I would really like to have my product delivered within a couple of days. I don't want to wait for a couple of months or a couple of weeks even. So if you study human behavior and you know that people are driven by value, comfort, and speed, like Amazon did, you will be able to target them and you'll be able to speak to those needs of them. If they've got a comfort need, you'll be able to talk and send them a message that's tailored around comfort. Okay, sorry, I just want to have a see if there's any comments. Okay, nothing. My nasal station is working at the moment. So before I go on and go into a little bit more detail, I need to warn you, there is no secret formula. We all wish, I wish there was. And yes, you, me, everybody is being bombarded with a lot of ads that says that make $1 million by the age of 30, or if you buy this product, especially for us women, it can shave off 10 years of your life. But these type of marketing are gimmicky, and they tend to give marketing a bad. As you are in, most of you, the majority of you are in the market and in an industry where value and integrity is central to what you offer in terms of accountancy and bookkeeping, we don't want to do something gimmicky. So we will have to work a little bit harder. We will have to be a little bit more patient, because our success will come over time. Your success will come over time. So, like I said, gimmicky, nothing happens instantly, nothing happens immediately. And the same applies to marketing. Good and consistent marketing takes time and knowledge, and there is unfortunately no quick route to a quick buck. We would all love to do that, but unfortunately there are none. Then I will say that, and I will always say that the basics always work. I will take you to the basics in terms of me and what I see the basics. And the basics, if you've got the basics in place, it's like your foundation. If you build on your basics and you do more based on your foundation, you'll have a strong system, strong strategy, and strong plan where you can then take out to the market. Then time is your friend. Like I said, nothing happens overnight. The longer you take to do things, it might take a little bit longer, but the benefits will be so much more rewarding, because you would have laid the seeds, the groundwork to get the return on what you have planted. Like in the agricultural industry, you don't plant a seed today and expect to deliver a product tomorrow. And it's unfortunately the same is with marketing. You plant your seeds and you let them, you water them and you allow them time to grow and then bear fruit. And lastly, and this is really the best advertising is done by satisfied customers. And I'm not the only one that's saying that. Philip Kotler, a very well-known marketing manager, marketing guru, he has said that the best advertising is done by satisfied customers. And why? Because I will tell somebody else about this excellent customer service that I have received. And that person, they might not use you tomorrow, but next time when they want something done, say for instance their books, they will think, oh, my friend or this person that I know actually told me about somebody, so maybe I should contact that person because he or she delivered exceptional customer service. Now, what to avoid? There are some things that to avoid in terms of marketing. One of them are tactics with no strategy. You can do a tactic, but a lot of the tactics are very short-lived, short-term, and a tactic is normally replaced and usually replaced by a new tactic or a new platform. So when you've got your strategy and you've got that in place and you start implementing that, you must make sure that whatever tactic you use is based on a solid strategy. Then also be consistent. Do not be inconsistent. If you are inconsistent, if you one day say, let's say for instance, you are a bookkeeper and you say, okay, today I will do your spreadsheets, and then tomorrow I'm going to do your tax, and the day after that you're going to do something else. Everybody out there hears, okay, he does this and he does that and he's that. It's wonderful because you can do a lot of different things, but for somebody to remember and to make use of you, you need to be consistent in what you do and the message that you carry across. Then that's it. The previous point relates to this, a shotgun approach. It's like being a sniper, like a real sniper for the army. If you want to hit a target, you usually use a rifle specifically made to hit that target. If it's a certain amount of meters away, you use one type of rifle, one type of bullet. And please excuse me, I don't know all of the jargon in terms of rifles. My husband knows that through and through. I don't. But you've got a certain target, so you will use a sniper rifle. You will not use a shotgun because though that shotgun, the pellets will go everywhere, but it will not hit the mark. It first of all won't travel that far, and it will not hit the mark. So the same applies to marketing, is do not use a shotgun approach. Focus on where you want to go, pinpoint it, and then aim for that and go through to that. Then, like I said, self-recovering perfectionist, waiting for it to be perfect. If we all wait for everything to be perfect, we're never going to go to market. So do your marketing strategy, do your plan, and then start implementing. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. If you're still in the process of developing your product, but it's like 80% there, and you only need to do 20%, then go to market. You can always do the 20% after you've started going to market and telling people about you. Then last of all is expecting overnight success. I have said that before. And unfortunately, our current social media culture is reinforcing this concept of overnight success. And lots of people are just posting the good results, and they don't really post the sweat and tears and the late nights and the early mornings behind the scenes. And this thing creates the impression that they achieve their success overnight. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen overnight. So a little bit of patience, a little bit of hard work, a lot of hard work will be able to get you where you want to go. Okay, I just want to take a little bit of a sip. So what to do in the ideal world? And yes, this is the ideal world. A lot of us just want to start off, run, hit the road and just go. But it is best to do this. We have studied it. I have done it. I've worked it out. And I can see the benefit when I do this versus just running out there and just doing the work. So start off with strategy, then go on to your marketing plan, determine your budget, then execute. And then, because you've done all of the previous steps, your execution will be so much easier and smoother. Then you need to monitor what you've done. Then you adjust if you need to, your plan or your strategy. Then you adjust and you measure. You need to measure to see whether you've actually reached the goals that you've set out. Okay, but if we go back to marketing strategy, why is it so important? You need to think of the marketing strategy like it's like taking a trip. So yes, you can hop in your car, hit the road, and be off, but you don't have any sense of direction. You don't know where you're going. So you're going to waste your time, you're going to waste your diesel or your petrol, and you're never going to end up where you thought you wanted to because you didn't know where you wanted to end up. So if you have a map, which is the strategy, and you've got an itinerary of, I need to reach that destination by that date, so late, then you are prepared and you then can make most of your time and the most of your trip and accomplish what you've set out to reach. So, and that is what strategy gets you. So in essence, boiling it down, the purpose of your marketing strategy should be to identify and then communicate the benefits of yourself, of your product, of your service, the value of your business offering to your target market. Your target market are those people that you want to make use of your product or your service. So, and this is the easiest determined when you address the 7 P's. And most of you have heard of the 7 P's. I'm just going to quickly name them. It is product, your price, your promotion, your place, your packaging, your positioning, and your people. If you address all of those in your marketing strategy, you will know exactly where you are going and how you're going to get there and who you're going to take along with you on the route to be able to get where you want. So, taking that down to a nutshell, in your strategy, you want to know who you are trying to reach, what you want them to do. You need to know what you want them to do. You need to then know how you will encourage them to take that action and how you will measure that marketing impact on influencing their action. Did what you do in terms of your marketing strategy actually influence them to take that action? Then the next step's the marketing plan. It's taking your strategy and then outlining what you will do in terms of actions and tactics. And this is where you will then bring in, are we going to use social media? Are we going to have a website? Are we going to have LinkedIn posts? Are we going to have LinkedIn events or virtual events or actual events? And then it usually is over a specific period of time. It can be 6 months, 12 months, a little bit less, a little bit longer. And it covers a variety of marketing related details, such as your costs, your goals, and your action plans and your action steps. What I like to say is your marketing plan is in coloring in your roadmap that you are following. It provides you with the timelines and the direction towards reaching your business objectives, which you've identified in your marketing strategy. Then your marketing budget. You need to know how much money you've got available to take you on that road trip. You can't just get into the car, not have your wallet with you, and just hit the road and carry on, because you're going to run out of petrol or diesel. So you need to know, okay, I've got 1,000 Rand, I've got 2,000 Rand or 3,000 Rand. So I will be able to move, say for instance, travel from Cape Town to Kimberley. Or I will not be able to make that. I can only make Colesberg. So that is what your budget is there for. It also helps you, when you've determined your budget, to help you determine your marketing plan. So if, for instance, you have got a limited budget, it can steer you in the right direction of determining your marketing plan. Instead of going overboard, you say, no, okay, I've got a little bit of less money, so I need to make my actions a little bit less, or I can do alternative actions, take alternative actions that can bring me the results, but is not necessarily going to cost me as much. Then obviously you need to execute. And like I've said before, if you have planned it properly and you have done your homework, you have done your research, you know who you are focusing on, the execution is so much easier, because then there's a lot less things that come out of the woodworks. I don't know the exact English the word for that, or the saying in that, for that, but there's a lot less stuff that comes out because you've actually thought about that. And in your marketing plan, you've actually thought about, maybe this can happen, and if this can happen, then I can do this. So say, for instance, you've taken the road trip, there is roadworks, then you can say, okay, I've actually planned for this, so I'm going to take this route. I'm going to, instead of making a U-turn, I'm going to take a turn off before actually reaching the roadworks. Then, so you've now monitored your marketing strategy, and now you can adjust it. And then this is where you need to look at what you have done, whether it's actually bringing in you the results that you have set out to achieve. So you will look at your efforts, your marketing efforts. Have they been fruitful? Say, for instance, you've done a Facebook post, or you have done Facebook advertising, and you have said, okay, my target that I've set for myself is I wanted 100 people to submit their contact details for me. So then you measure and you then adjust, and you say, okay, you've monitored, and you say, okay, no, but I only got 20 contact numbers of the ad that I've run. So then you say, okay, maybe I did not focus on the correct target market. So then you adjust it. You say, okay, maybe I focused, so for instance, you're in accounting, you have focused on people aged between 20 to 25 or 20 to 30. Then you realize that they're actually not in the market that I want to target. So let's up that age range from 30 to 40, or from 40 to 50. A lot of people have got their own businesses maybe in that age range. So let's adjust the advertising on Facebook and then target those people. So then you adjust. And at the end of the day, you will measure your actions throughout, especially in terms of whether you have met the deadlines you've set, but you then, at the end, measure against the values of the objectives that you've set. You measure against that. And it can be different metrics. We at ICB have got different metrics to say, for instance, ICPA. So each business and your business will have different metrics which you will focus on. So just to recap, you will focus on you need to focus on your marketing strategy. Then according to that, do your marketing plan, your budget, you then execute. And remember, if you've done the 3 previous steps, your execution will be so much easier. It should be flawless. And then you monitor it. You have to keep it's almost like your finger on the pulse. You need to every day check, okay, maybe this is not working, maybe that's not working, or no, this is working. So instead of maybe focusing on something else, then in my next phase, in the adjustment phase, I can rather take some of the money that I've earmarked for one platform, then I move it to another platform. Okay, but I said that is in the ideal world. Now, what is to say that if you do not have a lot of money, what do you do then? If you don't maybe even have a budget, then you just swap your marketing plan and your budget around so that your budget determines your plan. Because then you can say, okay, I only have X amount of money. So, and for that X amount of money, what can I do with that? And then that will determine your marketing plan. Okay, so if it was me, if I started out and say, for instance, I studied bookkeeping or I'm an accountant, what would I do? And this is like really just an example. I'm not necessarily interested in landscaping or in garden services, but now I'm an accountant and I've got a love for gardening. Say, for instance, I love gardening. I don't, but I love gardening. So I've now determined my niche, and that I determined after I've done my marketing strategy. So I've started my marketing strategy, and my marketing strategy determined and identified that my niche market is landscaping. And why? Because I've got a love for landscaping. I love to work in the garden. I love to read about plants, learn about plants. In terms of watering, I know what to do to get the optimal growth out of it. So I've decided that is my niche. And on top of that, it also gives me a common ground. So I am now going to start focusing on businesses that provides landscaping. So I'm going to be able to have something that I can relate to and discuss with them. So we've got some common ground. So, and then from there, I will determine my marketing plan. But I know I'm just starting out. I don't have a budget. So, okay, I've got a limited budget. Don't have that much money. So I'm going to determine my USPs, my unique selling points. What makes me? What makes my offer the best that is out there? And then I start listing them. And then from there, I determine what I can offer in terms of the product and my price. And I determine my tactics, because I've already determined I've got X amount, a limited amount of money in my budget. So I can then determine my tactics. And for me then, after that, because I've got limited budget, I will then register a website. I will register a domain in my name. Not necessarily Celma Brümmer, but my business's company's name. I will register that and make sure that I have got a business email address, not a Gmail and not a Yahoo or any other generic email address. Then I would go to YouTube and to Google, and I would set up my own website. Yes, I've got a little bit of experience in that in real life, but now I don't have. But YouTube and Google is the best resource for free information. So I go and I watch tutorials, and I follow the tutorials and follow the steps one by one by one, and I set up my own website. And yes, it sounds like, whoa, it's so difficult. It's actually very easy. Just follow the steps and follow the videos that is on YouTube. And then I'm going to execute my plan. And part of my plan is set up my website. I'm going to create a social media presence. I'm also going to use word of mouth, because that is the strongest type of advertising and marketing that you can have. I'm going to make use of my contacts. I'm going to make use of my friends, my family, and I'm going to tell them I've got a new business. Here's a business card that I printed or not even printed. Here's my website address. I do a digital business card, and I share that with them. And I ask them, please share this with everybody that you know. And then I will network. I will go to the Chamber of Business, my local Chamber of Business. It doesn't cost me anything at the beginning. And then I will go and network, and I will talk about my business, about what I see with other people at that. But I will also hit the pavement a little bit, and I will go and see, okay, there's somebody that he's doing the garden services. So I will just quickly go and chat and talk to them, have a friendly conversation, because I've already got a love for gardening, so we'll be able to hit that off easier. Then I'm going to monitor. Has these actions that I've taken, have they actually brought in customers? Has that conversation that I had with the landscape artist down the road or the garden service person, has it actually resulted in them contacting me? Has me sending my contact details to my family, or friends have that resulted in somebody contacting me to make use of my business? Or did my Facebook profile and my Facebook post, did that bring my business? And then depending on what has happened, I will then adjust my strategy, my action, so that I can focus on 20% of the actions to actually bring me 80% of my results. And it really works. The 80-20 principle really works for marketing. Focus on 20% and get 80% of the results. So that is how I would do it. But then my non-negotiables. Like I've said it before, and Belinda has said it before as well in her previous chat, is that a website. For me, a website, if you're a business, whether you're a small business or a big business, a website is a non-negotiable. So set up your business, follow YouTube instructions, tutorials, read articles on Google, do a Google search, set up your own website. And then a professional image. You are in the bookkeeping and accountancy industry, and you need to be professional. So you need to be professional in your dealings, not only in terms of how your website looks, but also how you approach people, how you talk to them, how you answer your phone. And yes, it does make an impact. If somebody phones you out of the blue and they actually they've never heard of you or they've never made use of your services, you don't know them, and you answer your phone and you're grumpy or you're miserable, they're going to pick that up and they're not going to call you back, or they're going to just end the conversation. Also, the way that you reply to emails, even if it's a simple, stupid question that somebody asks you, a question with an answer that is on your website and they actually contacted you through your website, be professional, be courteous, be friendly when you answer them and answer their question, even if it is on your website or even if it is in your Facebook post. All of the information is there and they ask you that question. Answer them professionally, courteously, and friendly. And then when you go and visit a potential client or even a current client, even if you go out to have a drink afterwards or he's a friend of yours, dress properly, dress neatly when you go and visit them. You never know if that client, that friend of yours, is going to have another business partner with them that are looking for somebody to make use of you. Then, most important of all, and it's really, it doesn't cost you anything, word of mouth. I need to tell you this statistic. 92% of respondents, that was in a survey that was conducted by Paul Rand, he said 92% of respondents reported that a positive recommendation from a friend, a family member, or someone they trust is the biggest influence on whether they buy a product or service. So if you deliver a professional service and you deliver a good service, you actually over-deliver on what you've promised, word of mouth will spread and people will then start coming to you. Then what I related to that word of mouth is deliver on your promises. Ensure that you deliver what you promised. Excellent service sells itself. Other people will talk about you. People will refer their colleagues and their friends to you if you deliver on what you have said that you will deliver. And also what you need to know and remember, because you're a bookkeeper or if you're in the bookkeeping industry, you work with people's hard-earned money. And integrity, trustworthiness, and honesty is integral in you building your business's name. If you're not any of those three, not even one of those three, then you will market yourself, but you will not get repeat business. And to get new business costs so much more than getting repeat business in. Then be consistent. Avoid jumping from one new fad to the next. There's a lot of development and technologies on the forefront, but try and avoid jumping from one thing to another thing. Be consistent, and especially in your service delivery, be consistent in what you deliver. Then I read this: pick a lane and dominate. If you love doing something, say for instance tax, go into that lane and then dominate. Become the specialist in that area, because then people will talk about you and they will refer other people to you. Helpful tools and tips for me. I've said this before, Google. I cannot tell you how much I use Google. I use it at least 3 to 4 times a day. And then just another helpful tip: if you do not get your the answer that you're looking for in your first search, refine your search terms, write it a little bit differently, use other words, and then do another search. You will, if you're persistent enough, you'll be able to get the information, because the information is out there. It's available. Then, especially in the industry that you are in, connect on LinkedIn. Yes, everybody that knows me, you're going to say, yeah, but Celma, you don't use LinkedIn. That's a personal preference of mine. But for you, if you want to build your business, if you've started your business or you want to build it, because you're in the B2B space, you're a business offering a service to another business, you're offering a service and not necessarily a product, you need to connect with people on LinkedIn. And I'm going to refer you back to the previous live stream that Barbara did, where she shared some very valuable and insightful tips on LinkedIn and how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Then use tools that will make your life easier. I use Canva daily. Yes, there's a free version, but then there is also a paid version. And then the free version, you can do almost anything. You can do anything with that and everything with that. It's just some of the images that you will have to pay for, but then that's fine. Then you have selected your image and then you only pay for that one image if you don't want to use the free images. And then, or I also use Trello. It helps me to, how can I say, order my thinking, and then also help me to direct if we've got multiple projects going on. It helps us to plan that and then to execute them. And that's just what we use. Then very simple, but I use Grammarly. I've installed it on my web browser. Grammarly helps you with your spelling, with your sentence construction. And like I said previously, you need to be professional. And if you make a spelling mistake in an email or in a document, maybe even a proposal that you're sending to a client, it does not create a very good impression of you. So, say for instance, I would think, or the way that I see it, I'm making use of a bookkeeper. He's made a spelling mistake. So, sure. Isn't he going to make a mistake with my figures that he's going to look at when he's doing my books? So you need to think about those things. Not everybody is like that, and not everybody will think like that, but look at your spelling. So install Grammarly, it's free. It will help you a lot with everything. Then follow knowledgeable people. Knowledgeable people in your industry, and even in people that is not in your industry. I personally follow Gary Vaynerchuk. Do not know if I've said his name correctly, his surname. I also love to follow Simon Sinek, and then Mark Sham, and then surprise, surprise, I like to follow Zero, because they share a lot of nice, usable information with accountants and bookkeepers, and you don't need to even be an accountant like me to get some valuable information from them, whether it's from their site or whether it's from their Facebook page. You can get some nice information. Then if you are going to go on the route of being an accountant or a bookkeeper and you want to build your business, do personal visits. Personal visits will help you to see the lay of the land of your customer. It will also spark some ideas with you maybe cost-saving ideas that you can then share with your customer. And it also gives you a nice and another perspective of how your customer does his business, which will allow you to refine your offering to him and add even more value to what you're offering your customer. Then list on free business listing sites. And this is like something people think of, why should I do this? There's a lot of business listing sites out there, which includes Google My Business. So when you've started your business, go and list yourself and register yourself. And then maybe like the yellow pages, go and register yourself as a business, because a lot of people use those listings to search for services. And the best of all, these business listings, they do the advertising on your behalf. You don't have to go and spend money to advertise because you already listed. So somebody's looking for accountant or bookkeeper, so they type in the search terms and there your name pops up. That will also help you with your organic reach. You've got a website. So now, because you've got a website, you need to look at your SEO, your search engine optimization. That's a fancy word for Google or Yahoo. When people put in search terms, what they will then go and pull from the internet and list at the top of a person's search results. So because you're listed on those business listings, it will help you with your organic search. Also, what you can do is you can post articles onto your website, general information, something, if it's tax season, what should a normal taxpayer look out for? What is deductible? What can you deduct? What can't you deduct? What is the maximum amount of deduction you can do for medical aid? Do articles like that. Then also, I've listed read. You're going to ask yourself, but yes, Selma, why did you put read in there? This relates to the previous point that I made, is where you write articles. If you read, and you read a wide variety of different articles, it actually helps you subconsciously of how to structure your sentences. It also helps you with your vocabulary, adding new words to your vocabulary, and it will also show you different ways of how sentences and concepts can be conveyed. You can also learn something possibly new about something new, which can give you an opening when speaking with somebody else. Say, for instance, you are at the Chamber of Business, and you're just talking around the drinks table, and the person say that he's interested in hunting. But you've actually read an article about hunting, so now you've got a common point, common ground between the two of you, and you can actually talk about that, which can then maybe open the door for you to promote your business, your service to that person. Then I'm going to say that again. All of this, try and solve a customer's problem. So your main aim, you want to add value, and how you're going to add value is when you solve a customer's problem. And if I go back to my previous example, I love working with designing clothes, love to sew it, love to sell it, but I hate doing the books. I hate figures. You're going to solve my problem when you come and talk to me and say, listen, I can do your books for you, which is going to free up my time to do more of what I love. Then lastly, what I would like to say is, when I've put this whole presentation together, I just checked with Fatima about how her journey has been. She was our previous, like some of you might have known, she was our previous group financial manager, and she started her booking business in lockdown, in mid-lockdown, and she's been able to build it consistently month on month. So I asked her, what did she do in terms of her marketing? And then what was so nice is that she actually confirmed that what I have said previously. She said she built her own brand over time, meaning it didn't happen overnight. She used a network of people in the industry, and she also published articles before she started her own company. And she also said, which is most important, is that word spread, because she delivered a high value service, and she's known for being having integrity, and she's trustworthy. That spread, that word spread. We told other people about her, and people that she's worked with previously spoke to their colleagues about her, and that is how she has grown her business. And then I just want to end off before I will look at some of the comments. Sorry. This is Gary, one of the people that I follow. Is the best marketing strategy ever is to care. Is if you care enough to add value to somebody's business, to somebody's life, then they will make use of you. If you just deliver a product and you don't care whether it's a good product or good service, you don't care whether they're happy, you don't care whether the product is broken, you can just as well use that money that you've used on marketing and on building your business. You can just throw that in the water. You need to care what your customer says. You need to care what they want. And if you know your customer, you will be able to provide them value, and you will then care enough to actually add value to their life. Okay, that is me. I hope you found this very interesting. I am trying to have a look whether there's any questions that have come through. I'm not seeing anything. If there's any question, please post it. I am looking at the comments bar. I just want to quickly end off the presentation and open my proper screen. Stop sharing. And then please go and like our video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like Barbara said, we're trying to give back. We've got a lot of knowledge within the graduated education group, and we're trying to share that knowledge with everybody. So please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I don't see any other questions, but if you've got any questions, you are welcome to contact us directly. Our website address is icb.org.za, and you can just post your questions there. Please, very generic questions if it's with regards to ICB and the products that we offer. And then I see that there are no questions. I'm so glad. We've just posted icb.org.za. Please make use of us. Contact us if you've got generic questions. You can even post that. We will see if we can get that answered to you. And then thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for spending time away from your family. I really appreciate it. And see you next time from the background. Bye-bye.